You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host Hunter here. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're doing well. I've got a review for this new indie dramedy called Mile End Kicks, which is written and directed by Chandler Levack, who you know from doing another film that I fucking adored in I Like Movies, co-starring friend of the show, Romina Dugo. So I was real excited. Actually, shout out to Romina, was the one who told me that they had this new film coming out with one of the girls from Euphoria, Barbie Ferreira, which, you know what, from what I heard for season 3 of Euphoria, you dodged a bullet. So good job, Barbie. You got away from Levinson. But I gotta say, as I've talked about on the show, I love these sort of coming of age movies when I think about stuff like films like Perks of Being a Wallflower. I know Ezra Miller, but I think that is a great fucking movie. You think about like Perks of Being a Wallflower. You think about The Edge of 17. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Just to name a few. Bottoms obviously would qualify. Booksmart, Lady Bird. Like there are so many films that fall into that genre that I think are so well handled and so well done. And so, given how much I enjoyed I Like Movies, I was really excited to see what this could be. And so the film goes ahead and takes place in Toronto. And as I mentioned, Barbie Ferreira stars as Grace Pine, who is this girl who's going to. She works for a magazine. She goes ahead and she's like submitting articles, and she's doing interviews with bands and stuff like that. She's actually got a pretty decent amount going on, but she wants to go ahead and continue to find herself, and so she decides to go ahead and move to Toronto for the summer. And I want to say it's Toronto. Oh God, if I can't, I'm pretty sure it's Toronto, but she goes ahead and moves there, and her parents are kind of like, "Hey, like this is kind of a big deal. Like, like what the fuck are you thinking?" And so, it's interesting how I think she goes to Quebec actually. I think it's Quebec. Yeah, Quebec. So it's really interesting how one thing they talk about, and I just kind of random, I'm pulling from this, how there are certain provinces of Canada that have beef with each other. And I actually like the way they incorporate that into the story here. It made Grace feel more like a loner. It made her feel out of her element. So she really had to kind of go through the gamut a little bit. I appreciate the way that was written for her to start the film off. One thing I really love about this movie is Grace. Grace is played by Barbara Ferreira exactly the way I kind of wanted her to be. She's a snarky little shit. She's a self-righteous little bitch. She she really is most hipsters in their 20s. And I remember I was a dick in my 20s at points. So watching this, I was like, oh, yep, totally. This seems familiar. But especially when you're dealing with musicians, anytime you're dealing with artists in your 20s, there's so much juxtaposition, and there's so much people making things bigger than they are, and there's egos. It's really interesting how they get into that aspect, especially when it comes to being in a band, because Grace ends up falling for these two guys who are in the same band. And one of the things about whenever you do a love triangle, you really do have to make it so you give a fuck about just how it ends up. And the thing that's so interesting about this is Grace meets this dude, and she's told immediately, do not talk to this dude. This dude is bad news. Grace ends up falling for this dude, Chevy, who's played by Stanley Simmons, who I remember him in from the Iron Claw. I'm blanking on which Von Erich he was. Oh, damn it. He was Mike. That's right. He was Mike Von Erich. Yeah, man. I was really, I was happy to see him in this. And the thing, the thing I love about his character is he plays such a perfect shithead. Like, he plays he's the Uncle Jesse type. He's that type of dude who thinks his band is better. That he's more talented than he actually is. And so he has a level of self-righteousness that is mind-boggling. He's such a tool. Anytime he's talking about art, you just want to slap him in the fucking face. He's such a dick, and he plays it perfectly. I was so impressed. I was so fucking impressed with this performance. And then on the flip side, Devin Bostick, who's Grace's friend for a lot of the film, but he's also in the band, and so he's the other part of the love triangle. Apparently, he was in Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, which is fucking wild. What? Wait, who's in Diary of a Wimpy Kid? He's Roderick? What the fuck? What? That's oh my god. What? Oh my god, my brain. Okay, my brain is like melting in real time. Holy shit. I remember those Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. What? This is the same. Wow. Okay. Goddamn. Dude, props. Fucking props. Goddamn. He's great in this. Like, I think that's the thing that I was so happy with this movie. I was just so happy watching it because, you know how you see a trailer and you're like, okay, that looks like that could be really great. I really hope it doesn't let me down. And and I've been doing this long enough that that's happened where I watch something, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be great. And then I get out of the theater, I finish a screen or what have you, and I'm like, oh damn, that was okay. That wasn't what I was hoping for. This is what I was hoping for. This is what I want from these types of movies. There is some great dialogue here. I forgot to mention Grace's roommate, because when Grace moves to Quebec, she is staying with this girl, Madeline, who's played by Juliette. I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm so sorry. Garapi is what I'm gonna go with. I haven't seen her. I haven't really seen her in anything else. She's great in this. She's very naturally charismatic. She's really great with the dramatic stuff. There's a point where they have a very unpleasant conversation because of some things that happen with Grace, and I just went, "Oh shit! This is exactly how this conversation kind of needs to go." But she handles that confrontation so well, and you buy everything that she is fucking selling in that moment. It's incredibly well handled on the part of her performance. In terms of other people in the film, Isaiah Lieutenant, oh my gosh, Lieutenant. There we go. He plays Jesse, who's another member of the band. You know him from starring in I Like Movies. He's great in he's great in this as well. Really happy to see him continuing to work with Chandler here. But one of the other things about this movie is I really dug the soundtrack. There's a really interesting lane that Grace takes. There's a point where she's writing this article about Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, one of the best albums ever, by the way. And she's talking about talking about the importance of that album from her perspective. And there's a very interesting lane that she takes with Alanis Morissette and what she means to music still in 2026, that I was like, I fucking love the way that Grace is breaking this down. It's really interesting, and I was really captivated by the uh, kind of the journalistic bits in this movie where she's going ahead and kind of writing, and us, the audience, can go ahead and hear her because she's obviously narrating. I really love those bits. I really appreciate the aspect of the performances. I think the performances are very well filmed. There's some good live music that you get here. There's some good just shenanigans that occur. Um, I really enjoy when things get intense in this movie, and there's some there's a there's a hookup scene in this movie where something occurs, and I'm not even gonna hint at what it is, but there's something that occurs that is so fucking, you've got to be kidding me, you selfish monster. I was floored. I was flabbergasted in a way that I was impressed with how much of a dick move this thing that happens. Oh my god, it's so bad, but I but I was laughing because it's so douchey. But oh my god, it's fantastic. It's fantastic in how it's executed, but it's such a vile fucking thing. Um, I love how Grace goes through her lumps in this movie. She really is conflicted between these two guys, but it's really interesting how Grace is has this holier than thou attitude about herself and about her art, and yet she's compromising herself in these ways where you're like, oh damn. You find out that she's hooking up with her boss, which is played by Jay Baruchel. Really good to see Jay Baruchel. I love this dude. I'm always happy when he pops up. He was great in Blackberry, and he was very underrated in Blackberry. I think it's quite unfair, honestly, how people kind of brush that one aside. But yeah, he's great in that. Anyways, really liked him for the bits that we had him in. There's a great ending scene between Baruchel and Ferreira at the end that I really enjoyed how that was handled and the way that they both brought it in the way that they did. Everyone just felt locked in. That's the biggest compliment I can give this movie. No matter how small the role or how big the role, everyone knew it felt like this was just like a well-oiled machine the whole time. And this is what I love from these movies, that when these hit a certain rhythm and they bring in that drama, the movie just has you so well set up in this world that when shit starts to go down, you really are invested. And more or less, I really enjoyed where it ends up. I really enjoy where it ends up. It goes deeper in terms of like having to have those conversations sometimes with a friend, being like, look, you're being a bad friend, and having to kind of sit with that and kind of deal with like what your friendship looks like from there, and how we go ahead and we pursue relationships, whether they're friendships or romantic. And it's very interesting what it has to say. And I love the soundtrack that accompanies everything in this film. It just feels like everything is just fitting within, like, it just feels like everything is working so well in tandem for this just really immersive experience. I just really enjoyed. I rented this last week and I actually watched it twice in my 48-hour rental. I dug this a lot. So this is an A+ for me. I fucking adore this movie. It might be a fan fucking tastic on rewatch. Like, it's right on that kilt. Like, it's right on that tilt for me. But I'm gonna say A+. I'm gonna say A+ right now. But yeah, I fucking dug this. So I don't know if this isn't streaming anywhere, but it's like $5 to rent. It's worth $5 to rent, y'all. Like, definitely check this out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And like I said, it's one of my favorite films of the year so far. So hell yeah, Mylan Kicks, let's get it. Yeah, really dug this. Chandler Levack, they're 2 for 2. Between this and I like movies, like hell yeah. So, but yeah, um, yeah. Have y'all seen this Model in Kicks? If you have, let me know what you thought about it. You can go ahead and follow the show on socials. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at jhunterreelpineapple. You can follow me on BlueSky at reelpineapple.bsky.social. You can follow me on Letterboxd at BlackShazam. And you can follow the show on Twitch at twitch.tv/thereelpineapple. And follow me the show on YouTube at youtube.com/thereelpineapple. Thank you so much for listening. We'll have more reviews come up here soon. I am going to be on vacation, but in the next like 12 days, we'll have reviews up for Supergirl as well as Toy Story 5. I'm going to try to maybe go see Masters of the Universe before I get to the theaters. I want to check that out. I think it's going to be fun, damn it. But I'm going to try to go ahead and get a review for all three of those out before the 4th of July. I'm going to review something for the 4th of July. I can't remember if I reviewed Jaws. Maybe I reviewed Jaws 2. I've never watched Jaws 2. That might be fun. Maybe I'll do that. But I'm going to review something for the 4th, even though not a ton to celebrate in America right now. But I want to review something for the 4th. It won't be, maybe I don't know. I'll think on that. But anyways, but y'all, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. We can all use some more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real.